through its endeavor and enterprise can actually create jobs. And once you understand as a state that your job is to enable enterprises to flourish so that there is greater job creation and employment, then many things will fall in place.
Understand that you are waiving thousands of crores more per capita for the Vijay Malias, the Mehul Choksis, the Nirav Modis, but you're not willing to look at 50,000 rupees or 20,000 rupees for someone who's going to kill himself over it.
I think we need to look at national security in a much more holistic manner. We need to look at the security of our people. We also need to have a secure neighborhood. Keeping in view the nature of future war fighting, I think there is a need not only to build up capabilities, but also to ensure that adequate budgetary support is available to the three services.
As a public health advocate and as a citizen, I welcome any commitment to deliver universal health coverage to all Indians through a strong public system. We are more than doubling what we are spending on health as part of government expenditure in the next 4 or 5 years, and that's what is needed.
I have read the Congress Party's manifesto for the 2019 election, and I definitely think that making environment a top priority is welcome. It is very clear that as the manifesto has said, air pollution is a public health emergency.
My sister Gauri Lankesh was killed because she stood for justice and freedom of speech. Nobody should live in this country being fearful. I hope soon this true spirit of democracy is instilled in all of us.
दोस्तों, आदरणीय श्री एंटनी जी, डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह जी, हम सबकी प्रेरणा श्रीमती सोनिया गांधी जी और कांग्रेस अध्यक्ष राहुल गांधी जी, उनके साथ श्री चिदम्बरम जी, राजीव गौड़ा जी, वो सब आज ऐतिहासिक मौके पर मंच पर हैं। भारतीय राष्ट्रीय कांग्रेस के प्रांगण में हम एक बार फिर कांग्रेस अध्यक्ष श्री राहुल गांधी, हमारी प्रेरणा श्रीमती सोनिया गांधी, पूर्व प्रधानमंत्री हमारे नेता डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह जी, आदरणीय चिदम्बरम साहब, आदरणीय श्री एंटनी जी, श्री वेणुगोपाल जी और राजीव गौड़ा जी का बहुत बहुत स्वागत करते हैं। आज का दिन कई मायनों में ऐतिहासिक है। दोस्तों, आज आप सब कांग्रेस पार्टी के द्वारा जारी किए जा रहे 2019 के चुनाव के मैनिफेस्टो के साक्षी बन जाएंगे, जो एक उज्जवल भारत के भविष्य की बुनियाद रखेगी, जो एक विकसित भारत के भविष्य की बुनियाद होगी और जो भारत को दुनिया की सबसे अगली पंक्ति में ले जाकर खड़ा कर देगी। हमारा घोषणा पत्र कांग्रेस अध्यक्ष श्री राहुल गांधी जी, आदरणीय सोनिया गांधी जी, डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह जी, उनके मार्गदर्शन से पी चिदम्बरम जी, राजीव गौड़ा जी और अनेकों हजारों लाखों कांग्रेस जनों और आम जनमानस की सहमति और उनके विचारों से बनाया गया है। हमें विश्वास है कांग्रेस के वादे वचनों की तरह होते हैं और आज कांग्रेस का यह घोषणा पत्र एक नए इतिहास का, एक नए भारत का, एक उज्जवल भारत का, एक शक्तिशाली भारत का निर्माण करेगा। मैं बगैर किसी विलंब के श्री राजीव गौड़ा जी से अनुरोध करूंगा, जिन्होंने कन्वीनर के तौर पर घोषणा पत्र के गठन में एक रचनात्मक भूमिका निभाई है, कि वो इस घोषणा पत्र को बनाने की प्रक्रिया और लाखों लोगों से, करोड़ों लोगों से जो समर्थन लिया है, उसके बारे में आपसे व्याख्या और चर्चा करेंगे। राजीव जी।
Respected Congress President Shri Rahul Gandhi ji, respected UPA Chairperson Srimati Sonia Gandhi ji, respected former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh ji, Antony ji, Chidambaram ji, Venugopal ji, Randeep Surjewala ji, senior leaders of the Congress Party, members of the media, and everyone watching this manifesto launch from within India and elsewhere. It's a pleasure to welcome all of you to the historic launch of the Congress Party's manifesto for the 2019 election. I'm here to share with you some background on the process that we followed to arrive at craft this manifesto. In October 2018, Congress President constituted a manifesto committee with Sri Chidambaram as the chairman and with me as the convener. There were 20 of us, became 22 shortly, and he gave us a very simple mission statement. He told us that he knew that if we sat in a room for a few days and brainstormed, we would be able to come up with a very good manifesto. But he said he wanted something different this time, something which would be a breakthrough in the history of the Congress Party. He wanted us to go out and listen to the voices of the people of India, and to reflect those voices in the contents of the manifesto. And that's exactly what we did. We constituted 20 different subcommittees across a range of topics and fanned out across the length and breadth of India and reached out to people through both public consultations as well as through closed-door expert consultations. Together, we managed to our outreach covered 24 states, 3 union territories, and more than 60 locations. We also organized one manifesto consultation in Dubai to reach out to the NRI community and NRIs from 12 different countries participated and shared their views and concerns. We also opened up the manifesto process online. We had a website, we had a WhatsApp number, we had an email ID, and we also responded to change.org petitions. Over 160,000 inputs came in online. Throughout, at every consultation, there was energy and excitement amongst the people who participated. They were thrilled that the Congress Party was reaching out and listening to them, and that their voices would be reflected in the party's agenda going forward. And that's exactly what we did. A total of 121 public consultations, including the one in Dubai, 53 closed-door expert consultations, for a total of 174 consultations. And ultimately, we took all these inputs, we sat with them and worked with them for many days, and together as a committee, we arrived at the manifesto, which our Congress President is going to launch shortly. Sir, I am happy to mention to you that we took our mission very seriously, and we have delivered. Your vision that the manifesto should reflect the voices of the people is exactly what has transpired. The manifesto reflects the voices, the aspirations, the concerns, the suggestions, the ideas, the hopes of the people of India. We look forward to taking this manifesto to the people and to using this as a blueprint for governance in the months ahead. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
शुक्रिया राजीव जी। आज इस मौके पर कांग्रेस पार्टी के सभी सम्मानित महासचिवगण, कांग्रेस कार्य समिति के सम्मानित सदस्यगण, मुख्यमंत्रीगण, कांग्रेस पार्टी के प्रदेश कांग्रेस कमेटी के अध्यक्षगण, विधायक दल के नेता, अखिल भारतीय कांग्रेस कमेटी के सभी पदाधिकारी जो आज इस ऐतिहासिक समय पर अपना साथ जोड़ने, हाथ जोड़ने आए हैं जनता की इस आवाज में, हम उन सब का भी स्वागत करते हैं। और अब मैं अनुरोध करूंगा उस शख्सियत को, श्री पी चिदम्बरम, पूर्व वित्त मंत्री, जो मैनिफेस्टो कमेटी के चेयरमैन भी हैं, कि वो आएंगे और इस जन आवाज घोषणा पत्र के बारे में संक्षिप्त में अपनी बात कहेंगे। आदरणीय चिदम्बरम साहब।
Respected Congress President Shri Rahul ji, respected former Congress President Srimati Sonia Gandhi ji, former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh ji, Shri Anthony ji, Shri Venugopal ji, Shri Randeep Surjewala ji, my colleague Professor Rajiv Gowda, my colleagues in the party, friends from the media. The manifesto will be released in a few minutes, and you will have a copy in your hands. The manifesto was made through a process which has been described by my colleague Shri Rajiv Gowda. The contents of the manifesto, in my view, are the millions of voices that we heard during these consultations. If there is a paragraph in the manifesto, that paragraph was actually spoken or written by a citizen or a group of citizens in this country. They spoke much more. They wrote to us much more, but we could not accommodate all those voices, all those writings, given the limitations of the size of the manifesto. When this manifesto is released and when the contents are known, you will find that There is enough in the manifesto which addresses the concerns of our farmers, youth, women, Dalits, minorities, industry, small and medium enterprises, those who are concerned with the state of our education, those who are concerned with the state of our health care, workers in the unorganized sector, concerns about internal security, concerns about national security, foreign policy, the northeastern states, Jammu and Kashmir. There is so much more could have been said, but I'm sorry, given the limitations of the manifesto, we could only say so much. But I'm sure when our party workers and our party leaders take the message forward across the length and breadth of this country, they will find resonance to what we have said. The idea is to set the narrative for 2019. I think the Congress President has already set the narrative. The BJP, which is our opposition, they may be the ruling party today, they may call us the opposition, but the BJP is our opposition. That party is trying to seize the narrative. That party is trying to take the narrative back to the old, what they tried 5 years ago, the narrative of polarization, divisiveness, and hyper-nationalism. We have to bring the narrative to the real issues faced by the people. And the real issues are, as every survey, every research will tell us, the real issues are, number one is unemployment. 4.70 crore jobs were lost, not the 2 crore jobs every year that the Prime Minister promised. 4.70 crore jobs were lost. The second issue is farmers' distress. Farmers' loan burden has increased year after year after year. And according to a NABARD report, the average Indian farmer has a loan burden of 1,04,000 rupees. 1,04,000 rupees. The third is women. And when we ask women in Mumbai, what is your prime concern? I thought they will say price rise. But what they said was our security. Women are afraid of their security, of their children's security, of the security of their homes. These are the top three issues: unemployment, farmers' distress, and women's security. There are many other issues. These thread that binds all the sections of the manifesto is simply in two words: wealth and welfare. The manifesto, when implemented by a Congress government, I assure you, we will create wealth and we will guarantee welfare. The theme of the manifesto is, how do you merge or how do you marry wealth and welfare? The goal of the manifesto is to announce a plan to the people of India where we will create wealth and we will guarantee welfare. And that, I'm sure, a Congress government under Shri Rahul Gandhi will do. Thank you.
Respected Congress President Shri Rahul Gandhi ji, former President AICC Srimati Sonia Gandhi ji, Chidambaram ji, Anthony ji, Venugopal ji, members of the Working Committee, and all the other distinguished persons present here. Today is a unique date in the history of the Congress Party. We are going to release a forward-looking document which sums up the aspiration of the people of India for a decent life and life of dignity and self-respect. As Shri Chidambaram has just now mentioned, this document has been prepared after consultations with large number of people from various walks of life. I am sure that it will be debated all over the country so that the aspirations of the people of India, the vision of the Congress party and its Congress president can be a subject matter of widespread debate and understanding in various parts of our country. The purpose of the manifesto is to spell out the vision of the Congress party to move forward at a faster speed than ever before, to move towards an inclusive, forward-looking economy and polity. We all would like India to be a prosperous country, a country where prosperity and productivity go together. And for that matter, the manifesto points its perspective with regard to what will happen to the country's economy, and it will be a strong, purposeful, modern market economy with savings rate target being fixed at 40% of our GDP, investment rate being fixed at 35% of GDP, so that there should be all-round understanding that meaningful problems of poverty, ignorance and disease that still afflict millions of our people can be solved only in the framework of a rapidly expanding economy. And this manifesto spells out that vision of a rapidly expanding economy. It also spells out what we would plan to do, how to get rid of chronic poverty, ignorance and disease which still afflict millions and millions of our people. We have made in the 10 years of the UPA very impressive progress. 140 million people were brought out of the poverty line. We must better that record, and we must make sure that in the year 2030 we would have got rid of poverty from this land of ours. Therefore, the program that is mentioned, outlined in this manifesto is worthy of all-round dialogue, discussion. The young people, the backward classes, the deprived classes, Dalits and minorities, all sections of society have been taken care of. But it is the duty of the Congress workers to carry the message of the manifesto to the people at large, and that's the purpose of releasing this manifesto today, so that we go ahead telling people what has been missing in the last 5 years of the BJP rule, how unemployment has increased, how farmers' distress has increased, how foreign policy is in a mess, and how we can, working together, move forward in a new direction which spells out the vision of the Congress party. I therefore commend this document to all our sections of the community, all sections of our country, so that their aspiration, their vision can get a mechanism to bring together all sections of our society on a new platform of inclusive growth, which will get rid of poverty in a definite period of time. Thank you very much.
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह जी, आपके आशीर्वचन और इस जन घोषणा पत्र पर आपके विचारों से। और अब जिस बात का इंतजार था, मैं अनुरोध करूंगा कांग्रेस अध्यक्ष श्री राहुल गांधी जी, श्रीमती सोनिया गांधी जी, डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह जी और मंच पर उपस्थित सभी नेतागणों से कि वो 2019 का ऐतिहासिक जन घोषणा पत्र उसका अनावरण करें। कांग्रेस अध्यक्ष और सभी नेतागणों का बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। दोस्तों, हमें विश्वास है कि एक नए इतिहास की संरचना ये जन घोषणा पत्र 2019 करेगा और अब जिसकी हम सबको इंतजार था, मैं अनुरोध करूंगा कांग्रेस अध्यक्ष श्री राहुल गांधी जी से कि वो आएं और अपना